Guidance is something that cannot be predicted and comes to whomever Allah wills. There are many stories of people who experienced drastic changes in their lives after accepting Islam as their way of life. One of them is the story of an Israeli soldier who was initially raised to hate Islam, but eventually found the truth in the teachings of this noble religion. Yonatan, pseudonym, was born into a devout Jewish family in Israel. Since childhood, he was raised with the belief that his country was the promised land for the Jewish people, and anyone who opposed it was an enemy. Like most other Israeli youth, Yonatan was required to undergo military training once he turned 18. In the training, Yonatan was taught that Palestine was a threat to Israel's security, and that Islam was a religion that supported violence. For years, Yonatan grew up with this narrative. He believed that Palestine and Islam were threats, and his duty as a soldier was to protect his country from these threats. However, that belief began to waver when he was placed in one of the occupied territories in Palestine. Yonatan was assigned to a checkpoint near a small Palestinian village. There, he often witnessed the villagers who had to pass through the checkpoint every day to work or by necessities. Many of them were elderly people, women, and children. Although Yonatan considered them a threat, he began to see another side to them. One day, an old Palestinian man named Abu Hamza came to the checkpoint with some merchandise. He had to wait for hours under the scorching sun to be allowed to pass. Yonatan noticed how calm Abu Hamza remained despite being treated harshly by the other soldiers. "Why aren't you angry?" Yonatan asked curiously. "You know we are treating you unfairly." Abu Hamza just smiled and said, "In my religion, patience is part of faith. Allah will reward all deeds, good or bad." That answer left Yonatan speechless. He had never heard such an answer before. Yonatan began to notice more things about the Palestinians. He saw how they maintained family ties, prayed together, and showed respect for each other, even in difficult circumstances. An incident occurred that became a turning point in Yonatan's life. One night, an attack took place in the village he was overseeing. Yonatan and his team were ordered to enter the village and arrest people suspected of being members of the resistance group. During the raid, Yonatan saw a Palestinian woman trying to protect her children from the chaos. One of her children had been injured by shrapnel. The woman was crying and begging for help. "Help, my child is injured. I just wanted to save him." Jonathan, who was initially hesitant, decided to help. He carried the child to safety and called for medical help. The woman cried and said, "May Allah reward you for your kindness." Even though Jonathan was an Israeli soldier, the woman still prayed for him. After the incident, Jonathan felt disturbed. How could someone who had lost so much still be able to pray for those on the opposing side? What made them so strong? These questions began to fill his mind. Jonathan began to learn about Islam. Secretly, he bought a book about the Islamic religion and began to read it. He was surprised to find that Islam teaches compassion, justice, and peace. He read about the Prophet Muhammad, who always showed compassion even to his enemies. When reading the Quran, Jonathan felt something different. Every verse he read seemed to speak directly to his heart. He was fascinated by the teachings of Tawhid, the oneness of God, and how Islam emphasizes a direct relationship between humans and God without any intermediaries. Yonatan also began to talk to Abu Hamza in secret. Abu Hamza patiently answered all of Yonatan's questions about Islam. He never forced anything, but only gave explanations based on the Quran and Hadith. Islam is a religion of peace, Abu Hamza said one day. If you seek the truth, Allah will guide you. After several months of studying Islam, Yonatan felt certain that Islam was the right way of life. However, this decision was not an easy one. He knew that accepting Islam would mean facing rejection from his family, friends, and the community around him. One quiet night, Yonatan went to Abu Hamza and said, "I want to become a Muslim. Please guide me." With great emotion, Abu Hamza led Yonatan in reciting the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Tears streamed down Yonatan's face. For the first time in his life, he felt true peace. After converting to Islam, Yonatan chose to leave the Israeli military. He knew that his actions would be considered treason, but he felt he could no longer support actions that went against the teachings of Islam. He moved to another country where he could live as a Muslim without fear. In his new country, Yonatan changed his name to Yusuf. He began to learn more about Islam, attend mosque, and draw closer to Allah. Yusuf also actively shared his life story, hoping to inspire others to seek the truth. Islam changed my life, Yusuf said in one of his lectures. Before, I lived in hatred and fear. But now, I live in peace and love. All thanks to Allah's guidance. Yusuf is now an advocate for peace between Israel and Palestine. He believes that the conflict will never be resolved without dialogue and understanding. He often speaks about the importance of respecting fellow human beings, regardless of religious differences or backgrounds. Islam taught me that all humans come from the same God, he said. We are all brothers. We must live with respect and love for each other. The story of Yusuf is proof that guidance can come to anyone, anytime, and anywhere. His life journey teaches us that a change of heart is possible, even in the most difficult situations. Islam is a religion that teaches compassion, and the power of this teaching can touch the hearts of even those who were previously hostile to this religion. May this story inspire us all to continue to strive to be better people and get closer to Allah.